you don't have the ambition to go to metaphysical college, when you don't have the ambition to be a teacher or a practitioner or a leader, and I've said over and over again that it's sin to desire those things, when your only ambition is to know him aright, whom to know aright is life eternal, then these other things happen. And sometimes in the most unlikely places or through the most unlikely individuals. But you must keep free of desire. This desire to be a teacher, this desire to be a practitioner, this desire to heal people, I tell you, it is the sin of the ages. It's the do-gooder sin. It's the crime of good humanhood. There's only one rightful goal for a spiritual aspirant, and that's to know God. Now, what God does with you after you know God, just think how many things God could do. God could remove you out of this entire human experience, out here in the world, to some faraway island, some faraway mountaintop, some faraway seashore, and seat you there for the benefit of prayer, to be an instrument through which God comes into human consciousness. You may never have contact with a human being. You may never directly heal a human being. But if you were doing nothing more than letting that flow, somebody out in the world is being healed, saved, redeemed, uplifted. I have letters from people all the time telling me they don't believe in it. I had one the other day from one that said, of course, no one person, no matter how spiritually illumined, can help another. Of course, she says, in her ignorance. So, and that's what I wrote her. I can well understand that in your present state of ignorance you would say of course to that. But oh, how different it'll be someday if you ever are illumined. So it is. There are many people who go to Lourdes and are not cured. And you know why? Because they go to Lourdes to be cured. They forget that what they're going to is God. There are some who do get cured. And I'll bet that if you could examine what controls their desire is that they're really going to God and merely feeling that God can be better localized there than somewhere else. And they're right. God can better be localized in a church than in a brothel. Not that God is absent from the brothel, but it's so much easier to realize in a church. Now, if we keep ourselves completely pure inside, by which I mean make God our sole desire, the realization of the kingdom of God, be sure that we don't want it for a purpose, not even the wonderful purpose of healing people. Because after all, you'll find that isn't as wonderful as it seems after you're there. It's only one of those way places. It's a necessary one. I wouldn't be without it until I'm lifted out of it. I love it. But I recognize it not as a goal. It's only one of those things that help me show myself and others that this is the spiritual path. This is the way. And that's all it is. The goal is that you might have life and that you might have it more abundantly by finding God, by having the God realization, the God experience. Then, when you have no other desire and are sure that you don't want it for any purpose, then when you attain what you're seeking, you will be directed into the purpose that you are to fulfill. And you may be just as shocked as I was to find out the way it is, because little did I ever dream that my way would be as a practitioner. And even when The Infinite Way was written, I certainly never dreamed that I'd be a teacher or a lecturer. That's furthest from my thought. Yet that's the way it evolved. You wonder, is it the best way? And no, I tell tell you, I can think of a much better way, only I haven't been given the grace to attain it. And that's to sit on a mountain peak and just be the instrument through which God's grace flows impersonally. But evidently this isn't the time for it in my experience, so I have to carry it through in this way.